Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian from Whisper Status 74. This is nearing the end of my journey with the LG B8 OLED that I rented from Rent-A-Center. It is going back today, and I wanted to save this video for the end. I will do other videos on it after to really talk about my thoughts on it and the overall experience with the OLED in every single aspect. But one of my favorite aspects I wanted to save for the very end, and that is Dolby Vision. Dolby Vision has always been something that I thought you were better to have than not have, but primarily it just being a bonus. Something that wasn't necessary, but something that if you could get it, you were better to have it than to not have it. Now, I've seen Dolby Vision in my own home on the Vizio P series when it really first launched. I saw it on the 900F, 930E, the A1E, the AF8, even recently. And I've always loved that it was there. I've always enjoyed it. But there was always that talk of implementation being a little too dark, really crushing blacks, even on the LEDs. And I was really looking forward to seeing what it would do for LG, something that is inherent, something that is on the chip. It's not app-based, it's not patched later. It is built within the display, and it is night and day for me. It is mind-blowing to see Dolby Vision on very good content. And it's not just what HDR is good at, which is color. And it's Dolby Vision can add a sense of realism, not just color. It's not that simple. It's not just vibrancy. And Dolby Vision really does make a difference when it comes to the LG OLED panels. And it's probably going to be the hardest thing to go back to with my current display that lacks Dolby Vision. Now, the aperture on my camera is having issues. There is no blooming and there is no clushing of blacks with Dolby Vision. You're seeing some windows in the background as it's early in the morning, but it's not going to be representation that you can really see. But I would say that it's night and day. Now, is it something that you couldn't live without? I wouldn't go that far. I would say that it is amazing to have, but it is a stark contrast. Like I said, I've seen it on last year's AF8, which is still amazing, beautiful displays, but something about the way it is inherent to LG, and it's not patched or enabled later, really is amazing. I mean, it really is. I can't speak to what it looks like on Panasonic, but I have seen it on the top LEDs lately, and it is still an excellent bonus and something you should look to add if you don't have it. Now, again, it's not something that I think you have to have. Obviously, I said if you have Samsungs, you have HDR 10 Plus or other LEDs, but a lot of them do have Dolby Vision now. But it should be a consideration, at least in my opinion, that if you're choosing between, OLEDs that have inherent Dolby Vision, not app-based. The app-based Dolby Vision still, it looks great. I would still have it and still recommend it. But something about seeing it on OLED, on an LG OLED, that is, it just makes the entire image better. It just adds a sense of realism that you didn't think Dolby or that HDR was possible, that you didn't think that was what it was trying to provide. It's an overlay. The contrast, the peak brightness mixed with that Dolby Vision is the best content I've seen on the OLEDs, even better than really good game content. The HDR in Dolby Vision is just on a different level. The HDR in general on OLEDs has been really nice. In some of the places where it's lacked that peak brightness, I haven't felt the punch I've felt on brighter displays, but the Dolby Vision aspect of it has been really, really staggering. To the point to where a lot of the demo material that we see in store that we say we never see at home is something that I'm seeing. Meaning that wow factor that we see at in-store demos where we always, those full screen ones that we say, okay, once we get it home, it's always disappointing. Playing Dolby Vision, especially Dolby Vision, or primarily Dolby Vision for the OLED's HDR performance, more so than HDR10. HDR10 has always looked great to me on LEDs that are bright. And you're thinking, oh, that's HDR, it looks great. The Dolby Vision way it's used on the OLEDs in terms of walking out of the room and walking back into the room has that you're walking in a showroom. And it's hard to find that at home as far as clarity and reality. You can make the picture look as punchy as you want, and then you're like, that's kind of a noisy image. It's perfect on so many of these Dolby Vision Netflix that I've watched. I mean, really, really, you get that wow factor that so many of us are looking for. That does look different than it does on my other display. It does have, it just looks like a totally different kind of content in some ways, which says a lot. I mean, it really does say a lot. Dolby Vision to me, the misnomer, and this is what renting the OLED has been all about, guys, is taking certain things that I thought to be accurate from what I've read over the years and really putting that to the test, which is why I recommend renting one of these, taking it home, and really proving yourself as far as peak brightness, as far as Dolby Vision not being fully realized at 10-bit. Now, that is true. It can't be fully realized, but wow. For those of you that have never seen it, and I encourage people to rent an OLED, not if you're a fan, but if you really don't like them and you have a certain disdain for them, I think it's really eye-opening to rent them. Honestly, in my opinion, it's really been, and I am a fan of them, but I wanted to see for myself in my own environment for a month how it behaved with all kinds of content. Once the wow factor dissipated, I wanted to see how it really looked. And Dolby Vision for me has been a real standout, especially for something that a lot of people disregard as being not important and not something that's fully realized this generation. And something like Altered Carbon, which looks amazing in HDR, it's really not even close of how it looks in Dolby Vision. I mean, jaw-dropping, details. So we talk about Dolby Vision being color information, color depth, vibrancy. That mixed with the contrast, mixed with that black level, mixed with Dolby Vision, just adds this sense of realism that it's not even close. It just looked, especially Ultra Carbon and some of the others. Now, if it's something that's soft, your Mindhunters, your shows that don't, to me, have that fake grain structure, Dolby Vision doesn't really help them. Anything that's really soft still looks soft, but some of these demonstrations look like they're from the actual showroom, like the ones that they used to make falsely for demos. And to see that in your own home is what this is all about, is to really enjoy that wow factor that so many of us covet. It's to a point where it definitely will be a must for me moving forward. Now, it is included with many new display types and companies. It's not being left out of anybody pretty much other than Samsung right now. But for me going forward, it will definitely be a must-have. Going forward, if you don't have it now, as I currently don't, I wouldn't say you have to buy, don't upgrade for it, but I would say, especially ones that have it inherent to them, not app-based, I would definitely look to get Dolby Vision, as to me it is one of the biggest changes between the technologies and the biggest changes between the OLED and what I've seen out there, especially with LG. It is absolutely stunning and just adds a sense of realism and depth that I haven't really seen HDR do in many cases. So in closing, with viewing angle, the styling of OLED, the things that I don't care about, the things that actually don't really matter to me at all. I'm all about picture quality and performance. Dolby Vision really stood apart. Dolby Vision and gaming performance that I didn't always expect, but the Dolby Vision with the LG OLED has really been breathtaking. It really has stopped me in my tracks. And being a lover of picture quality, that's really what it's all about. And Dolby Vision will be something that I will need in my next display. But I've loved it on the OLED and I highly recommend it. 12-bit or not, it is phenomenal. All right, guys, thank you as always. I will do an overview soon. Take care.